Which of these conditions is used to find the velocity component of the boundary while using constant pressure boundary condition? A. Conservation of angular momentum. B. Conservation of linear momentum. C. Energy conservation. D. Continuity. The correct answer is continuity. The velocity components in the nodes which are not at the boundary are found using A. Energy equation. B. Continuity equation. C. Equations of state. D. Momentum equation. The correct answer is momentum equation. For which of these flows periodic or cyclic boundary conditions are applicable? A. External flow over objects. B. Swirling flow inside a cylindrical furnace. C. Free surface flows. D. Buoyancy-driven flows. The correct answer is swirling flow inside a cylindrical furnace. The pairing operation can be done for all properties except of a flow. A. Pressure. B. Density. C. Velocity components. D. Temperature. The correct answer is velocity components. While applying the constant pressure boundary condition, which of these is done? A. Pressure is set to 0. B. Pressure correction is set to 1. C. Pressure correction is set to 0. D. Pressure is set to 1. The correct answer is pressure correction is set to 0. Constant pressure boundary condition makes the pressure correction cell nearest to the boundaries to act as A. Source or sink of mass. B. Source or sink of heat. C. Convection cell. D. Diffusion cell. The correct answer is source or sink of mass. For cyclic boundary conditions, which of these should be equated? Other flow variables. B. Gradient of the flow variables. C. Flux of the flow variables. D. Second derivative of the flow variables. The correct answer is flux of the flow variables. Which of these pose a problem in constant pressure boundaries? A. Velocity. B. Flow direction. C. Density. D. Heat flux direction. The correct answer is flow direction. Periodic or cyclic boundary conditions are a type of A. Wall boundary conditions. B. Constant pressure boundary conditions. C. Inlet boundary conditions. D. Symmetry boundary conditions. The correct answer is symmetry boundary conditions. When do we use a constant pressure boundary condition? A. When there is an impermeable boundary. B. When there is constant pressure. C. When we do not know the flow distribution but we know the pressure at the boundaries. D. When we do not know the pressure at the boundaries. The correct answer is when we do not know the flow distribution but we know the pressure at the boundaries.